Hello everyone, and welcome back for another video. Now today I wanted to talk about something that I honestly didn't want to make another video about, but at this point, I just really don't have an option. So a comment that a lot of you guys have been leaving in my recent videos is, how are you getting good gameplay in this lag? And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not getting good gameplay in this lag. It's pretty far and few between when we get the fights that actually work. And to be perfectly honest, we are dying more to the server this patch than to other players. And that's never a fun time, and I don't think that at all is a testament to me being good at the game or anything. It's just a fact for this patch. It's not just me. A majority of players are just dying to the server not working in PvP. And frankly, that's why this footage is from last patch as well. Now, of course, we know that the PvP population of this game is definitely a minority, so ZeniMax has very little incentive to really do anything for the PvP population, because I really think in their eyes, we just don't make them a lot of money, so why worry about it at all? Well, this is the thing, is that it's not just PvP that's gotten to this point, it's everywhere. I mean, you can go open world in a random zone, and you get lag and skill delay. Heck, I get skill delay when I'm in a delve by myself. I don't know what to say to that. I mean, that shouldn't happen at all, but it is. So let's talk about the impact that I think this has really had on the game over these past couple months or so. So we do know that when Greymoor came out, this is when the big lag issues started. Prior to Greymoor, we definitely had performance issues, especially in PvP, but it was nowhere near as bad as it is in Greymoor. And of course, prior to the Greymoor launch, there was the coronavirus epidemic that had started, and that had a profound impact on this game as well, because a lot more people were jumping into ESO than were there before. Now, this definitely will have an impact on overall server performance when the population spikes like that, but prior to the Greymoor launch, it was still way more playable than it was after the release of the Greymoor patch. And now this leads me to Steam charts. Now, Steam charts just shows us how many people are playing ESO at any given time on Steam, and it keeps a record of it for us as well. Since ESO or ZeniMax is a private company, they do not share any statistics as to how many players they have or anything like that. Anything that they say is purely pro bono. They decide to share it with us, and that's it. They're not obligated to share any of this info. So Steam charts is really our only source of kind of identifying how good or bad the game is doing from patch to patch by seeing the percentage of players come to or leave the game. And when we look at the coronavirus epidemic, we see that huge spike on Steam charts where the number of players playing this game doubles. And we slowly see that dwindle over time, but this is where it is very concerning. We see the release of the Greymoor patch, and the Steam chart numbers have almost not budged. That is really, really bad for the release of a new patch. If you look back on Steam charts and you trace back other successful patches of this game, there is always a huge increase in player base. But this patch, they have struggled to just hold the player base they had prior to the release of it. Now, number stagnation like that is exactly what we saw during the Scalebreaker patch, which was arguably one of the worst and most unhealthy patches that this game had had prior to Greymoor. So let's talk full circle about why I personally am so concerned about seeing this from ZeniMax. This past few months for the game, the whole epidemic was a huge break for ESO. They gained tons of players that they frankly really needed to really make it as that top tier MMO that I know this game can be. My big concern with all of this is that new players that come to the game will get the impression that ESO is a laggy mess, and they won't want to come back for it after their initial experience. That's what they're going to tell people about the game. I mean, honestly, when they release a patch like this, it's kind of a media nightmare for them. And ZeniMax knows that. You know, they are actively on the forums making sure to delete every second post that complains about lag because one already exists. And I'm just not really convinced that that's really a healthy strategy for this game, because all they're doing is just silencing people in an effort to change what people are saying instead of actually changing the reason that people are saying it. Now, I'm not going to pretend to know how to set up and make a working server for an MMO like this, But what I do know is that their resources are being allocated in a different area. And that's really not good to see. And I'm going to be very honest, ZeniMax has a very bad history of doing things like this on their own personal forums. I mean, they're allowed to, but at the end of the day, I think that it's resulted in a forum environment that is much more toxic today than it would have been if just over the years ZeniMax had been a lot more transparent and maybe not tried to silence people who have very legitimate concerns about the game. I think something that ZeniMax maybe forgets is that when we talk about the lag in this game, we're not trying to make this game sound like it's awful. We're not trying to make people quit playing the game. We're trying to make the game better. That's why we bring it up. It's a legitimate concern that this game is struggling with, and we want to see it improve. So as a content creator, a community member of this game, and a long-term player, I feel obligated to drop this constructive criticism because things need to improve. This game has really gone through a very rough patch this patch, and honestly, with the balance being what it is this patch, and the additions that they've added, if this game worked, this would, in my opinion, be the best patch I have ever played. But unfortunately, that is again not the case. And that's again why we're here making another video about the performance, because it's that bad, just to put it quite frankly. And I mean, like I said at the beginning of the video, I didn't want to make another video like this, but I mean, I feel like I really have to. I feel obligated to. And to be quite honest, videos like this don't make a good relationship between me and ZeniMax. There's a big reason why I'm not on their stream team. There's a big reason why they don't promote my content on their page. And it's not because my content's bad, it's because they don't want to hear the legitimate criticism that I'm not afraid to drop. And I think that really stems from the whole deleting forum posts. They just feel like if you sweep it under the rug, then it's not a problem you have to address. And this is why we're doing the video and everything. This problem is way too big. The rug has a huge mound underneath it. Everybody's tripping over it. And something needs to be done soon, or this game is definitely going to suffer long term from this patch. There, I got it all off my chest. Honestly, like, this is not the most positive video, and I know that, but it's just truth, and I have to be honest with you guys, because that is the pact that I've made. I will be honest with you guys. And in turn, I expect you guys to be honest with me. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I would absolutely love to hear it, and I think ZeniMax needs to hear it too. If you guys are interested in sending in a clip for the top 5, or if you want to send in a build to be featured on the channel, you can send that to KristoferESO@hotmail.com. Give me a follow on Twitter if you guys want to keep up to date with when I'm streaming and just my shenanigans in general. You can also check out my Twitch for those live streams themselves. And of course, check out my website, KristoferESO.com, for written guides to all of my builds, as well as a hub for all of my ESO content. We are sponsored by What the Fast. They're VPN for gamers. They give me better ping to my favorite games, and they're free to try for the first 30 days via the link in the description below. And then last but certainly not least, a big shout out and thank you to all of my patrons on Patreon. Through thick or thin, you are the guys that help make this possible for me. So a big thank you. A big thank you to everybody just for tuning in and watching. And as always, guys, have a fantastic night, and I'll see you next time.